All right, so for the rest of this solo, we're going to fly through this pretty quickly because it's pretty straightforward. It's pretty much G minor pentatonic, mixing in a major third or a flat five, the blues, flat five, and it kind of gets a nice dominant feel with that thrown in that minor major third thing. Now, the concepts are pretty simple, but the technique is the challenging thing, because Shane, like I mentioned earlier, he kind of makes all these things sound just a little slicker by doing quirky little things. And here he does this, I can't figure out exactly what he's doing. I'm sure if I asked him, I mean, it's 20 years ago, he probably wouldn't even remember. But it sounds like he's sliding into some notes. He's bending one note from the major third instead of the minor third or the fourth, and then it's a way he slides into it. So there's a few different ways you could play this, and I'll touch on one or two of them. But it starts out by bending the 15th fret of the G string. So it's a quick little snap bend. And then he raises it up to the major third. So it's the 15th fret G string. Then he goes to the 15th fret of the E string, plays the 18th fret of the B string, and he bends that up a whole step. All pretty standard pentatonic stuff. And this is where he does pretty much pentatonic stuff, but on the E string he's adding in that major third. So you have the 15th fret of the G string, and then the 19th fret of the of the E string. 15th fret to 19th fret on the E string, and that's where you have the root to major third. Then he goes back to that minor third and slides into that major third again. So the 18 to 19 slide. So you have. Then he just slides into that major third, plays the 15th fret again on the E string to the 18, 15 on the B string. Again, all pretty standard pentatonic. That's where he does that little slick thing where I'm not sure exactly what he's doing, but for me it was the easiest to play by going, after you go 18 to 15 on the B string, you just go down chromatically from 15, 14, 13, all on the B string. Then you slide from that 14th fret on the G string to the 16th fret, which is the major third, and then he bends that up. So you have. And so he bends that 16th fret up, and then he grabs on the G string, then he grabs the 15th fret on the B string, rolls back over to the 15th fret on the G string and bends that up. So that's your pentatonic kind of minor third, major third bend. So far it's. And then you slide that bent note on the 15th fret G string to the 12th fret on the G string. So the whole thing is. And here he's just messing around with the G minor pentatonic. Right? So it's 12, 10 on the G string to the 11th fret on the B string, bend up a half step, or really a quarter step. Back down to 12, 10 on the G string. So the whole thing. Back to the 12th fret on the G string to the 11th fret on the B string, and you bend that up again, a quarter step again. And that actually starts raising up more than a quarter step, a half step, almost a whole step bend at a certain point. So you have. And then he just gets into this little fast, typical sequence that a lot of people play, run. We'll get into that in a second, alternate picking. But the cool thing about this, again, that phrase, you can kind of do, instead of going chromatically on the B string from 18, the pentatonic's 18 to 15 on the B string, then 15, 14, 13 chromatically, and then slide into that G string 14 to 16. Right? Well, here you can do, instead of doing chromatically on the B string, you can do 18, 15 on the B string, and then your what would look like your blues pentatonic. Right? You just do the 18, 17 on the G string, which is just like going down chromatically on the B string, 14, 13, right? So you have so then you can get right into that 16th fret and bend that up a half step. So you're doing the chromaticism there on the G string. It's whatever feels comfortable to you, but I really liked coming from the 14th fret, sliding into that 16th fret, and bending that up, as opposed to... That just felt a little wonky to me. And again, trying to get that slick little slide in there really makes a difference to my ear, at least. So then he gets into, after he does... So it's a real, just quick alternate picking sequence kind of thing. And that one part on the B string, I'm not sure exactly what's going on. I didn't dive into too much detail there, but he switches the pattern around just a little bit. But it's basically... You can hear that same pattern rolling around, but he turns it around at the very beginning. So he slides into the 15th fret of the A string. Then he goes to the D string on the 14th fret. Then he goes down 3 notes on the A string, 17, 15, 14. Goes right back up that 15, 17. So 17, 15, 14, 15, 17 on the A string. So. Then he just goes 14, 15, 17 on the D string to the 14th fret on the G string. Then back down 17, 15, 14, 17, 15, 14, 15, 17 on the D string. So you can keep seeing that pattern, right? Then he goes, when he goes back up that on the D string, again he goes 14, 15, 17 on the G string to the 15th fret on the B string. Back down again and back up again on 17, 15, 14, 15, 17 on the G string. And this is where he gets to the 15, 17, 18 on the B string, and instead of going... This is where he goes 15, 17, 18, back to 15, up to 18, 17, 18. So it's like this. Instead of going... He goes... All right, it just turns the phrase around a little bit. That's how it normally would have been if he followed the convention of this pattern he was doing, but instead he goes... And then he just goes up on the E string, 15, 17, and chromatically 17, 18, 19. Essentially the pattern is... Right, or at least that's the way I kind of heard it. It goes by so quickly that some of the notes are hard to kind of pick out. But that's pretty much it. There's so much in this to really focus on and work on if you really want to take some of this and incorporate it into your own playing. I mean, everything from the little chromatic thing to the little arpeggio things mixed with the blues pentatonic stuff. And remember, you know, the little subtleties that you may overlook are things like that little, he plays the G note twice here, then he walks down chromatically, and then here he plays it 3 times with a little rest in between. And all those things turn the phrase around, and that's, again, what can change something from sounding generic you know, if you do it the same way and you keep the pattern going. For me, at least, I'm not big on hearing patterns. I don't want to hear people do 3 notes on a string, 3 notes on a string, and just keep running up, or do string skipping stuff where it's just the same pattern, but you change to a different chord, then you change to a different, you know, that doesn't, I like hearing those phrase variations. And so that's just a little tiny subtlety that you can incorporate into your playing into a million different things, and it'll change everything that you play. You know, take out of this too the little slick sliding and bends. Those things make things sound so cool. The 16th note to 8th note little pattern that we did, go back and listen to that and try and incorporate that into your own stuff, pentatonic stuff, diminished stuff. Just use it all over the place, and these things will start becoming part of your playing. It's really cool. So that's a pretty long lesson, actually, on this solo, but there's so many good concepts. I hope you guys like this. If you guys want to see more stuff on Shane, and especially if you want to see any lessons with Shane on our channel and with what we do, if you want to see him do a lesson package with us, definitely let us know, because he's unbelievably talented. So if you guys like this, please click like, subscribe, and, you know, share this with people. It really does help. You know, let us know in comments below. All those things, not only do they help us, but they actually motivate us, you know, when we see nice comments and everything. And when we see angry comments and mean comments, it kind of makes us laugh. So any comment's a good comment. We will see you on the next lesson. We got a ton of stuff coming up, so please stick around. We're shooting a bunch more stuff with Alan Hinds, this huge little, that doesn't even make sense. This huge university thing with Alan Hinds, where he's talking from everything from playing over changes, playing modes, understanding modes of major scale modes, to melodic minor modes, to using diminished scales, all these weird things, whatever, chromaticism, rhythm. We're going to do a whole huge thing on rhythm playing in different styles, blues, funk, jazz. And Alan's just an absolute monster. He's a teacher at Musicians Institute. And if you don't know his stuff, check out the link below. We have a lesson package with him that's absolutely awesome, a solo broken down that is just an insane solo. We got a bunch of stuff with that. Josh Smith coming up. We got a second lesson package coming up with him. We got a whole bunch of stuff that we're going to be doing for YouTube. Scott Henderson stuff. I got this Michael Brecker thing I've got to get back to. Larry Carlton solo, the greatest solo ever, that we just posted recently. A lot of people have requested and checked it out and asked for a note for note breakdown, so we are going to get to that. And yeah, just a ton of stuff. So stick around, and we will see you on the next lesson. Thanks, guys. Really appreciate it.